The starship Defiance moved slowly through the dark space between stars. Inside the ship, Ambassador Kyle Morrison looked out the window at the distant lights of Xerion Prime. The alien world looked beautiful, but Kyle knew this trip might be humanity's last chance for peace. Captain Lisa Grant walked into the room where Kyle was standing. She wore her military uniform with pride. "We will arrive in 2 hours, Ambassador," she said. "The alien fleet is already waiting for us." Kyle nodded. He had spent months preparing for this meeting. Earth's leaders had chosen him to speak for all humans. The job felt heavy on his shoulders. "Are you worried about their reaction to our demands?" Lisa asked. "The Empire thinks we are weak," Kyle said. "They believe humans are just another primitive species, but they will learn we are different." The Defiance entered the orbit of Xerion Prime. Through the windows, Kyle could see hundreds of alien ships. Each ship was massive, much bigger than any human vessel. The Empire wanted to show their power before the talks even began. Admiral Jake Collins joined them at the window. He was Kyle's military advisor for this mission. "Their ships are impressive," he said, "but size is not everything in war." The shuttle took Kyle, Jake, and Lisa down to the planet's surface. The capital city of the Galactic Dominion Empire spread out below them like a metal jungle. Tall buildings reached toward the sky, and flying vehicles moved between them like insects. The Empire's council chamber was enormous. Representatives from 12 different alien species sat around a circular table. At the head sat High Chancellor Vextar, a tall reptilian creature with golden scales and cold yellow eyes. "Welcome, humans," Vextar said in perfect English. His voice sounded like stones grinding together. "We are curious to hear what your young species wants to discuss." Kyle stepped forward. He had practiced this speech many times. "We come in peace, but also with firm demands. Earth claims sovereign territory over all space within 50 light-years of our solar system." The aliens around the table began making strange sounds. Kyle realized they were laughing. Some made clicking noises, others growled, and a few made high-pitched whistles. "You claim territory?" asked Fleet Commander Zekon, a creature that looked like a giant insect. "Your species has barely left its home world. What right do you have to claim anything?" Jake stepped beside Kyle. "The right of any intelligent species to protect itself and expand safely. These systems include our trade routes and future colonies." "Future colonies?" Vextar's eyes grew brighter. "You speak of plans as if they are facts. The systems you claim have belonged to the Empire for thousands of years. Many of those systems are empty," Kyle said calmly. "No Empire species lives there. No Empire bases exist there. Empty space cannot belong to anyone until someone uses it." A blue-skinned alien with 4 arms spoke up. "The Empire has ancient charts showing our ownership of those regions. Your species did not even exist when we made those claims." Lisa watched the aliens carefully. During their stay on Xerion Prime, she had studied their military formations and ship designs. The Empire had impressive technology and massive numbers, but she noticed something important. Their tactics were old and predictable. They relied on overwhelming force rather than clever strategy. The negotiations continued for 3 days. Each day, the Empire became more insulting toward humanity. They called humans children playing with adult tools and a species that would destroy itself before reaching true civilization. On the final day, Kyle presented Earth's detailed territorial map. The holographic display showed the 50 light-year boundary around Earth's solar system. Several uninhabited star systems lay within this zone, including some with valuable mineral resources. "This is our final offer," Kyle said. "We ask for recognition of these boundaries. In return, Earth offers trade agreements and peaceful cooperation with the Empire." Vexatar stood up slowly. His massive form cast a shadow over the human delegation. "The Galactic Dominion Empire does not negotiate with primitive species. We take what we want and give nothing in return." "Then you refuse our reasonable request?" Jake asked. "We refuse to take your request seriously," Zekhan said. Your entire species has perhaps a dozen ships capable of interstellar travel. We have thousands. What can you possibly do to enforce these imaginary boundaries? Kyle looked at each alien representative in turn. Their faces showed contempt and amusement. They truly believed humanity was helpless. Very well, he said quietly. We tried diplomacy first, as civilized beings should. He activated a recording device that would broadcast his next words to every Empire world. Let this message be clear to all members of the Galactic Dominion Empire. Earth hereby establishes a Terran protection zone extending 50 light years from our solar system. Any Empire vessel entering this zone will be considered an act of war against humanity. The chamber fell silent. Even the aliens' translator devices seemed shocked by Kyle's bold words. We strongly advise against testing. Our resolve, Kyle continued. Humanity values peace, but we will defend our territory with every weapon at our disposal. Vextar's laugh echoed through the chamber. Empty threats from an empty species. The Empire will go where it pleases, when it pleases. Your warnings mean nothing. Then this negotiation is over, Kyle said. He gathered his papers and stood up. We hope the Empire will reconsider before making a grave mistake. As the human delegation left the chamber, they could hear the aliens laughing behind them. The sounds followed them through the corridors and all the way back to their shuttle. During the flight back to the Defiance, Lisa spoke quietly to Kyle. They think we are bluffing. I know, Kyle replied. Their arrogance will be their downfall. Jake was already planning military responses. When they enter our territory, we must be ready to act immediately. Any hesitation will make us look weak. The Defiance began its journey back to Earth. As they traveled through hyperspace, Kyle sent his report to President Jack Sullivan. The message was simple. Diplomacy has failed. The Empire refuses to respect our territorial claims. They plan to test our resolve very soon. Kyle looked out at the stars rushing past the ship. Somewhere out there, Empire commanders were probably already planning their invasion of human space. They expected to find a weak species ready to surrender at the first sign of superior force. They would discover how wrong they were about humanity. The Empire had made their choice, and now they would face the consequences of underestimating Earth's children. 3 months after the failed negotiations, Fleet Commander Zekhan stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Dominator. The massive ship led Battle Group Omega through hyperspace toward human territory. 50 heavy cruisers and 2 enormous dreadnoughts followed behind him. The humans think they can challenge the Empire, Zekhan said to his second-in-command. We will show the galaxy what happens to species that forget their place. On his tactical display, 3 star systems glowed red. These were his targets, within the so-called Terran protection zone. The Empire would establish permanent bases there and begin strip mining operations. Any human ships that interfered would be destroyed without warning. Zekhan's mandibles clicked with amusement. Intelligence reports showed that Earth's entire space fleet consisted of maybe 20 ships. Battle Group Omega alone could destroy them all in a single engagement. This would be less of a battle and more of an extermination. Back on Earth, emergency. Alarms rang through the halls of the Global Defense Command. President Jack Sullivan hurried into the Situation Room where his top advisors waited. General Amy Carter stood beside a large holographic display showing the movement of Empire forces. How? Many ships? President Sullivan asked. 52 capital ships, Mr. President, General Carter replied. Our deep space sensors detected them entering human space 6 hours ago. They are heading for the Kepler 442 system. Defense Secretary Paul Blake looked worried. That is more firepower than we expected for their first probe. They are taking this seriously. Good, said President Sullivan. Let them commit their forces. The bigger the force, the bigger the message when we defeat them. Admiral Jake Collins, recently returned from the diplomatic mission, studied the tactical display. Their formation is standard Empire doctrine. Heavy ships in the center, escorts on the flanks. No imagination, no adaptation to the specific mission. General, Carter nodded. Our intelligence was correct. The Empire fights the same way they have for centuries. They rely on overwhelming force and predictable tactics. President Sullivan activated the secure communication system. "Get me Commander Steve Rogers. It is time to implement our surveillance plan." Commander Steve Rogers received his orders aboard the destroyer Vigilant. His ship was one of Earth's newest vessels, built with technology the Empire had never seen. The Vigilant could move faster and hide better than any alien ship. "Captain Nina Walsh and Captain Tony Hayes are standing by with their ships," his tactical officer reported. "The Independence and the Guardian are ready for reconnaissance operations." "Excellent," Rogers said. "The Empire thinks they are dealing with primitive humans. Let us watch them closely and learn their weaknesses." The 3 human ships used advanced stealth technology to follow Battle Group Omega. The Empire sensors could not detect them, even when they moved close enough to monitor alien communications. Rogers listened to the Empire chatter with growing amazement. The alien commanders spoke as if they were on a training exercise rather than invading another species' territory. They made no attempt to hide their positions or vary their patrol routes. Battle Group Omega arrived at Kepler 442b, a mineral-rich world on the edge of human space. The planet had no human colonies, but Earth had marked it for future development. Now Empire engineers began building a massive military base on the planet's surface. "They are not even posting proper guards," Captain Walsh reported from the Independence. "Their orbital patrols follow the same pattern every 6 hours. A child could predict their movements." Captain Hayes added his observations from the Guardian. "The mining operation is already beginning. They are strip mining the northern continent without any environmental controls. At this rate, they will destroy the planet's ecosystem within 2 years." Rogers forwarded all intelligence back to Earth. The Empire was making the same mistakes that arrogant conquerors had made throughout history. They assumed their enemies were too weak to fight back, so they took no precautions. Within 2 weeks, Empire forces controlled 3 star systems inside the Terran protection zone. They built military bases, established mining operations, and began shipping resources back to their core territories. Worst of all, they found 2 systems with primitive alien populations and immediately enslaved them. The news of alien slavery reached Earth through refugee ships that escaped the Empire occupation. President Sullivan watched the recordings of Empire soldiers forcing innocent beings into labor camps. His face grew hard with anger. "They think might makes right," he said to his advisors. "The Empire believes that superior technology gives them the right to enslave anyone weaker than themselves." General Carter brought more disturbing news. Intelligence reports that High Chancellor Vextar is planning to expand the operation. If we do not respond soon, they will claim 10 more systems within our territory. Defense Secretary Blake worried about the military situation. "Their forces outnumber our visible fleet by at least 3 to 1. If we attack now, we might not win." "Our visible fleet," President Sullivan repeated with a slight smile. "Paul, you need to remember that the Empire does not know about our invisible fleet." Admiral Collins understood what the President meant. "Project Prometheus has been very successful, Mr. President. Our hidden capabilities are ready for deployment." Meanwhile, Zekon continued expanding Empire control over human space. His commanders reported no resistance from Earth's military. A few human merchant ships had fled when they saw Empire warships, but no military vessels had challenged them. "The humans are cowards," Zekon told his staff. "They made brave speeches about protecting their territory, but they run away when faced with real power." His intelligence officer, a thin reptilian named Sektar, agreed completely. "Our scans show no human military buildup in nearby systems. They have accepted defeat without even fighting." "Pathetic," Zekon said. "Perhaps we should accelerate our timeline and claim their entire solar system. A species this weak does not deserve to exist." The Empire commander did not know that human sensors watched his every move. Rogers and his reconnaissance team documented Empire patrol patterns, weapon capabilities, and command protocols. Everything they learned went back to Earth's military planners. "They are completely predictable," Rogers reported to Admiral Collins. "Empire doctrine has not changed in decades. They form up in standard battle lines and rely on heavy firepower to overwhelm their enemies." "Any signs of tactical innovation?" Collins asked. "None whatsoever. Their commanders seem incapable of adapting to new situations. They follow their training manuals exactly, even when circumstances change. General Carter used this intelligence to finalize Earth's military response. The Empire had made a critical error by underestimating human capabilities. Their arrogance would soon become their weakness. President Sullivan signed the final authorization for military action. The Empire had ignored diplomatic warnings and invaded human territory. They had enslaved innocent populations and destroyed planetary ecosystems. Most importantly, they had shown complete contempt for humanity's rights as a spacefaring species. "Send word to Admiral Beth Turner," President Sullivan ordered. "Operation Sovereign Shield is approved. Remove all Empire forces from Terran space." The time for diplomacy had ended. Earth would now speak with the voice of weapons rather than words. The Empire wanted to test human resolve, and they would discover exactly how resolved humanity could be when threatened. Deep beneath the surface of Titan, Saturn's largest moon, Dr. Rachel Moore walked through the secret laboratories of Project Prometheus. For 10 years, Earth's brightest scientists had worked in these hidden facilities, developing technologies that would change the balance of power in the galaxy. "The latest test results are remarkable," Dr. Moore told her assistant as they entered the main research bay. "The quantum displacement engine can now jump a battleship across 3 light-years in less than 10 seconds. The assistant, a young physicist named Dr. Gary Lewis, looked amazed. "The Empire still believes faster than light travel during combat is impossible. Their physics textbooks say it cannot be done." "Their textbooks are wrong," Dr. Moore said with a smile. "Human scientists approach problems differently than alien researchers. We ask questions they never think to ask." In another section of the facility, programmer Dan Foster worked on the final details of the tactical AI system. Unlike the Empire's rigid computer programs, human artificial intelligence could adapt and learn during battle. Each AI was unique, programmed to work with its ship's crew rather than replace them. "The AI will coordinate fleet movements automatically," Foster explained to the military observers. "Our ships will move like a school of fish, reacting instantly to changes in the battle. Empire fleets move like separate boats that must wait for orders from their commanders." Admiral Beth Turner, overall commander of Earth's military response, toured the hidden shipyards in the asteroid belt. Massive construction facilities had been carved into large asteroids, invisible to Empire sensors. Inside these secret bases, humanity had built a fleet that would shock the galaxy. "How many ships are ready for deployment?" Admiral Turner asked the construction supervisor. 43 capital ships, Admiral," he replied. 15 battle cruisers, 20 destroyers, and 8 heavy cruisers, all equipped with the latest quantum engines and AI coordination systems. Turner nodded with satisfaction. The Empire believed Earth had fewer than 20 military vessels. They had no idea that humanity's real fleet was hidden throughout the solar system, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. Captain Nick Stone stood on the bridge of the Retribution flagship of the secret fleet. The battlecruiser incorporated every advancement Project Prometheus had developed. Its quantum engines could jump instantly across a star system. Its weapons could penetrate any known alien shield technology. Most importantly, its AI could coordinate with every other human ship simultaneously. "System check complete, Captain," reported his tactical officer, Lieutenant Kelly Brown. "All weapons are ready. The quantum engine is fully charged. The AI is online and communicating with the fleet network." Lieutenant Commander Alex Murphy, the chief engineer, added his report. "The new engine design is working perfectly, sir. We can make tactical jumps every 30 seconds without overheating. No Empire ship can match that capability." Stone looked at the tactical display showing Empire positions throughout human space. Fleet Commander Zekon had spread his forces across 3 star systems, confident that Earth could not challenge him. The alien commander was about to learn how wrong he was. Meanwhile, the Empire continued its occupation of human territory. They had enslaved the populations of 2 inhabited worlds and were strip-mining planets without any environmental protection. High Chancellor Vextar received regular reports of the successful operation. "The humans have offered no resistance," reported his military advisor. "Our forces control 5 star systems within their claimed territory. Mining operations are ahead of schedule." "As expected," Vextar said. "A primitive species cannot challenge the Empire's might. Perhaps we should expand the operation to their home system. The alien leader dismissed intelligence reports suggesting humans might possess advanced military capabilities. Empire scientists had analyzed human technology during the diplomatic mission and concluded that Earth was centuries behind Empire advancement. They were about to discover how badly they had miscalculated. Back on Earth, President Jack Sullivan met with his military council for the final planning session. Admiral Turner presented the operational details for humanity's response to the Empire invasion. Operation Sovereign Shield will begin with simultaneous attacks on all 3 occupied systems, Turner explained. Our hidden fleet will use quantum jump technology to appear directly inside Empire defensive perimeters. General Amy Carter studied the tactical plans. The Empire will not expect attacks from multiple directions at once. Their commanders are trained to fight single large battles, not coordinated operations across different star systems. What about their numerical advantage? Asked Defense Secretary Paul Blake. Even with our technological superiority, they still have more ships. Admiral Jake Collins answered that concern. Numbers mean nothing if the enemy cannot coordinate their response. Our AI systems will let us react faster than any Empire commander can give orders. President Sullivan approved the final plans. The Empire chose to ignore our diplomatic warnings. They invaded our territory and enslaved innocent populations. Now they will face the consequences of their actions. The secret fleet began moving into position. Commander Steve Rogers and the Vigilant continued monitoring Empire forces, providing real-time intelligence to the attacking ships. His reconnaissance had identified every weakness in the alien defensive positions. Empire patrols are following their standard patterns, Rogers reported. No changes in their routine. They suspect nothing. Captain Nina Walsh in the Independence positioned her ship near the Kepler 442 system, where Empire forces had built their main forward base. Captain Tony Hayes in the Guardian took position near the second occupied system. The entire human fleet was ready to strike simultaneously. Dr. Moore watched the preparations from her command center on Titan. 10 years of secret research would soon be tested in real combat. All Project Prometheus technologies are ready for deployment, she reported to Admiral Turner. The quantum engines, adaptive AI, and new weapon systems are all functioning perfectly. Programmer Dan Foster monitored the AI network connecting all human ships. The artificial intelligence systems are communicating flawlessly. Our fleet will move as a single coordinated force. Captain Stone made final preparations aboard the Retribution. His crew had trained for months with the new technology, but this would be their first real battle. All hands, prepare for combat. Operations. We are about to show the galaxy that humanity will not be pushed around. The Empire forces had no idea what was coming. Their sensors showed empty space around their positions. Their intelligence reports indicated that Earth's military was too weak to challenge them. Their commanders planned to expand the occupation to more human systems. Fleet Commander Zek Han stood on his flagship, proud of how easily the Empire had conquered human territory. Send a message to High Chancellor Vextar, he ordered. Tell him the operation is a complete success. The humans are too afraid to fight. His communication officer began transmitting the message, unaware that it would be the last report Zekhan would ever send. In a few hours, the Empire would discover that underestimating humanity was the worst mistake they had ever made. Admiral Turner gave the final order from Earth. All ships, commence Operation Sovereign Shield. Show the Empire what happens when they threaten human space. The massacre at Research Station Alpha 7 changed everything. Fleet Commander Zekhan had ordered the attack himself, wanting to send a message to Earth about the consequences of resistance. 2,000 human scientists and their families died in the unprovoked assault on the edge of the Alpha Centauri system. President Jack Sullivan watched the recordings of the attack with horror and rage. The Empire had not just invaded human territory. They had murdered innocent civilians who posed no military threat. The research station had been studying stellar phenomena, not weapons technology. They crossed the line, President Sullivan said to his advisors. This is no longer about territorial disputes. The Empire has committed an act of genocide against our people. The footage showed Empire warships destroying the defenseless station with overwhelming firepower. Escape pods trying to flee were targeted and destroyed. Not a single human survived the attack. General Amy Carter brought the casualty reports. Among the dead were Dr. Lisa Park, the galaxy's leading expert on quantum physics, and her entire research team. We also lost the Miller family, parents and 3 children who were visiting the station. The news spread across Earth within hours. Peaceful protests turned into angry demonstrations demanding military action. Humanity had tried diplomacy and been answered with mass murder. Now there was only one possible response. Authorize Operation Sovereign Shield immediately, President Sullivan ordered. Admiral Turner, remove all Empire forces from human space. Use whatever force is necessary. Admiral Beth Turner had been waiting for this moment. The secret fleet was already in position around the occupied systems. Captain Nick Stone in the Retribution received the attack authorization and passed it to all human ships. All vessels, this is Admiral Turner. Operation Sovereign Shield is now active. The Empire has murdered our civilians. We will respond with precision and overwhelming force. Make them pay for every human life they took. The first target was the Kepler 442 system, where Zekon had built his main forward base. Empire sensors showed empty space around their defensive perimeter. They had no idea that 12 human warships were positioned just outside sensor range, ready to use quantum jump technology. All ships prepare for tactical jump, Captain Stone commanded from the Retribution. Target the Empire fleet anchorage. We hit them fast and hard before they can react. Lieutenant Kelly Brown worked furiously at her tactical station. Quantum coordinates locked in, Captain. All weapons charged and ready. The AI has identified optimal targeting solutions for every Empire ship. Engineering reports ready for combat operations, added Lieutenant Commander Alex Murphy. The quantum engine can cycle for continuous jumping if needed. Stone took a deep breath. 10 years of secret preparation came down to this moment. All ships, execute tactical jump. Show them what humanity can do. The human fleet disappeared from their hiding positions and instantly appeared inside the Empire's defensive formation. 12 advanced warships materialized directly among 50 Empire vessels, catching them completely unprepared. The aliens had never seen anything like tactical faster-than-light jumps during combat. Their physics said it was impossible. Their sensors had shown empty space seconds before. Now enemy ships surrounded them at point-blank range. The Retribution opened fire first. Its advanced weapons cut through Empire shields like paper, destroying 3 heavy cruisers in the first salvo. The other human ships followed instantly, their AI coordination allowing perfect timing and target selection. Direct hits on targets Alpha through Gamma, Brown reported. Empire shields are failing faster than expected. Their defensive technology cannot handle our new weapons. Commander Steve Rogers in the Vigilant led a squadron of destroyers against the Empire supply ships. The smaller human vessels moved like lightning, jumping from target to target faster than alien gunners could track them. Supply convoy destroyed, Rogers reported. Empire forces are cut off from reinforcement and resupply. They cannot sustain a long battle. Captain Nina Walsh in the Independence eliminated the Empire's long-range sensor arrays with surgical precision. Communication and sensor networks are down. They cannot call for help or coordinate their defense. The battle was unlike anything in galactic history. Human ships appeared and disappeared at will, striking key targets before vanishing again. The Empire's massive vessels were too slow to respond to the lightning-fast attacks. Zekon watched his fleet being destroyed from the bridge of his flagship. How are they moving so fast? Our sensors cannot track their positions. His tactical officer, a nervous insect-like creature, stammered his reply. Unknown technology, Fleet Commander. Our computers cannot calculate their jump trajectories. They appear randomly throughout our formation. Impossible, Zekon screamed. No species in the galaxy possesses tactical faster-than-light capability during combat. The humans apparently do, his second-in-command said quietly. We underestimated their technological development. The Empire tried to respond with their traditional tactics, forming battle lines and using concentrated firepower. But the human ships refused to fight according to Empire rules. They struck from unexpected angles, disappeared when targeted, and reappeared behind Empire formations. Captain Tony Hayes and the Guardian coordinated the final assault on the planetary base. All surface installations destroyed. Empire ground forces are cut off and surrendering. The planet is secure. Within 6 hours, the entire Empire garrison in the Kepler 442 system was destroyed or captured. Not a single human ship suffered serious damage. The one-sided battle demonstrated the enormous gap between human and Empire military technology. Similar battles occurred simultaneously in the other occupied systems. Human forces used the same tactics everywhere: sudden appearance inside Empire defenses, overwhelming firepower, and rapid movement that confused alien commanders. The news of the defeats reached Zerion Prime within days. High Chancellor Vextar refused to believe the initial reports. A primitive species cannot defeat our battle groups. There must be some mistake. But the evidence was overwhelming. 3 Empire fleets had been completely destroyed by human forces using unknown technology. Hundreds of Empire ships were gone, along with thousands of alien military personnel. Supreme Admiral Korthax, the Empire's highest military commander, studied the battle recordings in shock. They move like nothing we have ever seen. Our tactical doctrine is useless against this type of warfare. How is this possible? Vextar demanded. Our scientists analyzed their technology during the diplomatic mission. They are centuries behind our development. Our scientists were wrong, Korthax admitted. The humans have been hiding their true capabilities. We face an enemy unlike any in our history. The defeat sent shockwaves throughout the Empire. Member species began questioning whether the Galactic Dominion was as invincible as they claimed. If humans could destroy Empire fleets so easily, what did that say about Empire military supremacy? Back on Earth, President Sullivan addressed the global population. Today, humanity proved that we will not be intimidated by bullies no matter how large or powerful they claim to be. The Empire learned that attacking innocent humans carries a terrible price. Admiral Turner reviewed the battle results with satisfaction. All objectives achieved with minimal casualties. Empire forces have been completely removed from human space. Our message has been delivered clearly. Captain Stone and his crew celebrated their victory aboard the Retribution. They had shown the galaxy that human innovation and determination could overcome any technological disadvantage. But the celebration was brief. Intelligence reports indicated that the Empire was mobilizing its entire military force for a massive retaliation. The real war was just beginning, and humanity would need every advantage they could find to survive what was coming next. The humiliation of losing 3 entire battle groups drove the Empire into a rage that shook the galaxy. High Chancellor Vextar called an emergency assembly of all member species, demanding the largest military mobilization in Empire history. The humans have insulted the honor of every species in our alliance, Vextar declared to the gathered representatives. They used trickery and unknown weapons to defeat our forces. This cannot stand. Supreme Admiral Korthax presented the military response plan. We will assemble the Grand Armada, over 500 warships from every world in the Empire. No species in galactic history has ever faced such overwhelming force. The alien representatives agreed unanimously. The Empire's reputation for invincibility was at stake. If a primitive species like humanity could defeat them, other worlds might begin to rebel against Empire rule. Within weeks, warships began gathering at the Empire's main naval base near Zerion Prime. Massive dreadnoughts, heavy, cruisers, and support vessels from 12 different species formed the largest fleet ever assembled. The Grand Armada represented the combined military might of an entire galactic civilization. Lieutenant Commander Sam Parker, working undercover deep in Empire territory, watched the fleet build up with growing alarm. His mission was to gather intelligence on Empire military capabilities, but what he saw exceeded all expectations. Using hidden communication equipment, Parker sent urgent reports back to Earth. The Empire fleet numbers over 500 capital ships. This is not just a military expedition, They intend to destroy humanity completely. The message reached President Jack Sullivan during a late-night security briefing. General Amy Carter showed him the intelligence photos of the massive alien fleet. "This is 10 times larger than anything we expected, Mr. President. They outnumber our entire Navy by more than 10 to 1. Defense Secretary Paul Blake looked worried. "Our technological advantages might not be enough against such overwhelming numbers. Even our quantum jump capabilities have limits. Do you recommend surrender?" President Sullivan asked quietly. "Never," Admiral Beth Turner said firmly. "Humanity has never surrendered to bullies, and we will not start now. We will find a way to win." Admiral Jake Collins studied the tactical situation. The Empire is making the same mistake they always make, relying on brute force instead of strategy. Their commanders think bigger automatically means better. President Sullivan made his decision. "We will not abandon Earth or any human colony to Empire occupation. Admiral Turner, prepare our defenses. We make our stand in the Sol system." The Grand Armada began its journey toward human space under Supreme Admiral Korthax's personal command. The massive fleet moved slowly, but its size was so intimidating that several neutral species offered their support to the Empire. "The humans will surrender when they see our fleet," Korthax told his staff officers. "No rational species would fight against such overwhelming odds." His intelligence officer, a tall, blue-skinned alien named Vex Carr, agreed completely. "Our projections show the human fleet has fewer than 50 ships total. The battle will be over in hours." But human preparations were already underway throughout the solar system. Admiral Turner positioned the fleet near Jupiter, using the giant planet's moons and asteroid belt as defensive advantages. The location would force the Empire to fight in terrain that favored smaller, more maneuverable ships. Captain Nick Stone prepared the retribution for what might be humanity's final battle. His crew worked with quiet determination, knowing that Earth's survival depended on their performance. "How are our chances, Captain?" asked Lieutenant Kelly Brown during a brief break in preparations. "The Empire has more ships," Stone admitted, "but we have something they do not understand. We fight for our homes, our families, and our right to exist. That gives us strength they cannot measure." Lieutenant Commander Alex Murphy reported from engineering. "All systems are optimized for maximum performance. The quantum engines can handle continuous jumping for extended periods. We are ready for whatever comes." The Grand Armada entered the Sol system like a dark cloud blotting out the stars. 500 massive warships spread across space in the largest military formation ever seen. Their very presence seemed to make the sun itself dim with fear. Admiral Turner watched the approaching fleet from her command ship, the Constitution. "They want to impress us with their numbers. Instead, they have given us more targets to shoot at." The Empire fleet formed traditional battle lines, just as human tacticians had predicted. Supreme Admiral Korthax positioned his largest dreadnoughts in the center with heavy cruisers on the flanks and support vessels in the rear. "Signal all human forces," Admiral Turner commanded. "Today we fight not just for Earth, but for the right of every free species to determine its own destiny. Show the galaxy what human courage can accomplish." The battle began when Empire long-range weapons opened fire from maximum distance. Massive energy beams lanced across space toward the human defensive positions, but the human ships were already moving, using quantum jumps to avoid the incoming fire. "They are using the same tactics as before," Korthax observed, "jumping randomly to confuse our targeting systems. But we have so many ships that random movement will not save them." He was wrong. The human fleet did not move randomly. They moved with perfect coordination, guided by artificial intelligence systems the Empire could not comprehend. Every ship knew exactly where every other ship would be at any given moment. Captain Steve Rogers in the Vigilant led the opening assault. His destroyer squadron appeared directly behind the Empire formation, targeting their supply vessels and command ships. "Strike the head and the body will die," he reported over the fleet communication network. The Empire's massive size became a disadvantage in the confined space near Jupiter. Their ships were so large and numerous that they interfered with each other's movements. Human vessels darted between them like fighters attacking bombers. Captain Nina Walsh in the Independence coordinated attacks on the Empire's sensor networks. "Blind them first, then hit them where it hurts," she told her crew. The human ships systematically destroyed alien communication arrays and targeting systems. Supreme Admiral Korthax realized his fleet was being outmaneuvered despite its enormous size. "Concentrate all fire on their flagship. Destroy their command ship and the rest will surrender." But when hundreds of Empire weapons focused on Admiral Turner's position, they found empty space. The Constitution had jumped away milliseconds before the massive barrage arrived. "You cannot hit what you cannot predict," Turner said calmly as her ship reappeared on the Empire fleet's opposite flank. "All ships, execute coordinated assault pattern Delta. Show them how humans really fight." The human fleet moved like a single organism, each ship supporting the others in perfectly timed maneuvers. They concentrated their fire on key Empire vessels, destroying command ships and breaking up the alien formations. Captain Tony Hayes in the Guardian led a daring assault, directly into the center of the Empire fleet. "Sometimes you have to go through the enemy to get behind them," he said, as his ship jumped repeatedly through the massive alien formation. The turning point came when Captain Stone in the Retribution led a desperate attack on Supreme Admiral Korthax's flagship. The massive Empire dreadnought was the size of a small city, but Stone had identified its weakness. "All power to weapons," Stone ordered. "We get one chance at this shot." The Retribution appeared directly above the Empire flagship and fired its most powerful weapons at the alien ship's command section. The precise strike crippled the vessel's ability to coordinate the rest of the fleet. With their supreme commanders, ship disabled, the Empire formation began to collapse. Individual alien captains tried to continue fighting, but without central coordination, they were easy targets for the coordinated human assault. Admiral Turner saw her opportunity and took it. "All ships, final assault pattern. End this battle, now." The human fleet converged on the remaining Empire vessels from multiple directions simultaneously. The aliens found themselves surrounded and outgunned by an enemy they had expected to crush easily. Within hours, the Grand Armada was destroyed. Hundreds of Empire ships drifted powerless through space, their crews either dead or surrendering. The largest military force in galactic history had been defeated by a species the Empire considered primitive. Supreme Admiral Korthax, rescued from his crippled flagship, could not understand what had happened. How did they coordinate so perfectly? How did they move so quickly? Our intelligence said they were technologically inferior. The news of the Grand Armada's destruction reached Zarian Prime and sent shockwaves throughout the Empire. High Chancellor Vextar faced rebellion from member species who questioned his leadership and the Empire's military doctrine. President Sullivan received Vextar's personal communication requesting immediate peace negotiations. The alien leader's arrogance was gone, replaced by desperate fear of further human retaliation. The Galactic Dominion Empire formally recognizes Earth's territorial claims, Vextar said in his message. "We propose immediate cessation of hostilities and establishment of permanent peace between our civilizations." Admiral Turner stood beside President Sullivan as they watched the